This video is about holes and hole notes. So we can make holes in parts, obviously. Historically, we've probably done that by making a circle and a sketch and then extruding it. But there's a better way to do that using the hole feature in Inventor. And our holes will have a lot more information built into them when we use the hole feature as opposed to a simple extrusion. And we can use that when we make a dimension drawing. So let's first take a look at the different types of holes that exist, and we can approach this subject with a lot of consternation and worry that it's too hard for us, but actually it's not. It's very easy, I think, easier than a lot of things we've done, so let's get with it. So here are some hole definitions that we want to go through. The first one is the through hole, and it goes through the entire thickness of the piece as shown here. So you can see in the lower image on the right, that's a section view of the block up top, and it goes all the way through. So we call that a through hole. The next one is a clearance hole, and it's a hole that's large enough to allow the screw threads to pass through but not the head of a screw. So in this particular case, you might make a clearance hole if you're trying to screw that block to a block underneath it. So you want the threads to go through this block and then bite into the bottom block, and then they'll be held together quite strongly. And then there's a blind hole. That's just a word for a hole that does not go all the way through, and that's called a blind hole. There's the countersink hole shown here. So it has a conical shaped recess around the hole at the surface. It's often used to accept a tapered screw. I think we've all seen these probably before. That's a countersink with the conical shaped recess. In contrast, there's the counterbore as shown here. It's got a cylindrical recess around the hole, so that can accommodate the full head of the bolt or a nut, I suppose. And that looks like that. And finally, we can have threads on a hole, and that would be a tapped hole. So let's move on quickly to our next topic, which is how to document these holes. So there's some symbols that we're going to use when we talk about holes. There's a diameter. A hole has a diameter. I think we're familiar with that top symbol. And here might be a new one, the second one down. When we have a counterbore, we would have that figure on the left, second from the top. And then a countersink, recall that's the conical shaped top, and it will appear as the little angled thing pointing downward. And finally, when we want to specify the depth, we use that symbol there with the down arrow, and all that information is built into the hole when we use the hole tool. So it'll be very easy to get these symbols to just appear without us having to manually insert them. Everything's easy, right? Okay, let's continue then. So on a hole note, we'll use that when we make a dimension drawing of a hole. In this particular case, all this stuff you see in the ellipse in red there is a hole note, and that'll appear by itself without you having to do anything when you make the feature using the hole feature in Inventor. So this is a counterbore, and the way to read this is starting from the top here. You've got a diameter of 1/4 inch and a depth of 3/4 inch. And then after the counterbore symbol, it tells you the diameter of the larger cylindrical region at the top, that's 0.38, and how far that goes down, 0.25. So this goes down about a third of the way through the entire blind hole, which is a counterbore. Okay? In this particular case, we have a 0.38 inch diameter hole that has a depth of 0.5 inches. That's what that means. Easy, right? Okay. Alright, so I think this guy's getting it, and I think we can get it too. So he seems to be happy. It's sinking in. Let's continue on. Here's an easy one. Here's a 0.38 inch diameter hole. and it's drilled completely through the object, so we just have the diameter symbol, 0.38, followed by THRU through. And again, that'll appear by itself when we use the hole tool. Here's a countersink hole note, so a diameter of 1/2 inch. That's the diameter of the white part here. It goes all the way through. Okay, we can see daylight there. And the diameter of the conical region at the top, this one here, is 1 inch, and it comes down at 82 degrees. And again, all this stuff will appear by itself, so to speak, if we use the hole feature in Inventor. Alright, let's move over to Inventor, and what we're going to do is we're going to do this assignment, and I'll let you read the introduction, but basically what we're going to do is put these holes on that block that I just showed you, and then you're going to make a section view as defined by the A section here, and we're going to see it as a section view. So first we need to make this using the hole features for all of these, put it in a drawing, dimension it using the hole notes, and make the cross section, or the section view, excuse me, and then we have a bunch of files that we have. We have the part file, the drawing file, IPT and IDW, and then what you're going to turn into me is, of course, the PDF, which is the exported version of this IDW file. Okay, so let's make this with the hole feature in Inventor. Okay, so there are a lot of ways to do this. This may not be the most efficient. What I'm going to do is just take this block and I'm going to project the geometry. I think I might need to do that. Right click OK. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a construction line down the center, and I know to do that because these are in a line halfway across at 1 inch of the 2 inch block. Now I got 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, and 1 1/4, and this is the chain dimensioned. So let's try to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the point tool to place these, and actually I'm just going to place 4 of these on that line, and waiting for the little indicator, the glyph, to show that I'm right on the line, and then I'm just going to dimension it rather than try to place them in exactly the right spot. So the first one is 0.75 inches from the left, so here to here is 0.75, and then we have the next 2 are 1 inch away. So that worked out nicely. Next one's 1 1/4. So from there to there is 1.25. And from here to here, I believe was also 1.25. Let's see if I'm right on that. I am indeed. Okay. So we have our points, and I'll explain why I'm doing the points shortly, at the location of the holes. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to finish the sketch. And here's the thing about the hole tool. So why do I have this sketch here? I don't think I need that sketch. That was from I had played around with this piece before, so we'll get rid of that sketch. What we're looking for now is the hole tool feature, and let's see, where is it? I don't see it. Let's go to the 3D model tab. How about that? That would help. Here's the hole feature, so I'm going to click that and watch what happens. Well, let's get that out of the way. Boom. It makes a hole everywhere it sees a point. Okay? I don't want that. I just want to do one at a time. Let's see, how can we undo that? Well, can we click here to sort of deselect it? There may be a way to do that, but the way I've found works is to click the point and then click the whole command, and it'll just take that first one. Okay? So what is that first one? It is a Counterbore, 0.5 and a depth of 2, and 0.75 up top and a depth of ½ inch. So let's see if we can remember that. 0.2 and 2, 0.75 and 0.5. So let's click the Counterbore. So this was, my memory is terrible. Diameter of 0.5 and a depth of 2. Diameter of 0.5. And the depth, got to change the termination to distance, and that's 2, is it? Yep. And now for the Counterbore, it's 0.75 and 0.5. So it's 0.75 up here, and its depth is 0.5. I think I got that right. So I believe that's correct. Okay. Now what I'm going to do for this extrusion, there's a couple things. I'm going to put the visibility of the sketch back on, and that didn't work, did it? That's too bad. Let's put the visibility of this sketch. Yeah, sorry about that. That was the extrusion of the entire structure. So if I right-clicked on the sketch under the hole 5. I had made 4 before, and I got these to appear again, so let me see if I can pull that off again. So I'm going to click on that one, and then click hole, and it took that one. Okay, so let's see what the next one is. Looks like it's a through hole, but it's a countersink, 1 inch and 82 degrees, diameter 0.25. So countersink is right there. Diameter is 0.5 from there. It goes all the way through, so I drop down to the termination, drop down and do through all. 82 and 0.75, is that correct? Let's see. 82 and 1. A little bigger, 1. And okay. And there's my countersink. Alright. Let's see, what did that, yeah, okay, the sketch is there. So let me click that sketch, click hole, and let's see what our next one is here. It is a pretty simple one. It's a 0.5 inch through hole. It's got a tolerance of plus minus 0.002. We'll leave that off for now. So 0.05, sorry. So it's a through hole, that's 0.5. And that's it. Okay. Whoops. Now we'll click that point, hit the hole button again, and find out what else we need to make. This is another Counterbore. 0.25 and 1. So I gotta do these one at a time. So was it 1 inch deep and 0.25? No. 0.25 and 1 deep. So 0.25. And for depth, it's 1. Alright, let's go to the Counterbore part of here. It's 3/8, 0.375, and 1/4. I think I can remember that. I think I can remember that. 3/8 up here, 0.375, and 0.25. And okay. So I think we have them. I wonder if we went to View, Visual Style, and let's see. Actually, the best way probably is to go change it to a fairly transparent one, but we won't do that. We won't worry about that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this sketch and toggle off visibility, and there's our part. Okay. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to put this into a dimension drawing. So let's do that right now. So big I, new, make a template. Wait for Inventor to catch up with us. Skip all. And we're prompted for part name here. I think this was drill block. Drill block, assignment, holes and hole notes. This period maybe 2 or 5. The date is 03/22/2017. And put your name there. And here we go. Okay. So we're just going to reproduce what we saw earlier. I think we can make that a little bigger. I think we can we get by with that? I think we can. Whoops. Okay, let's try that again. Let's just make this 1, and we'll move it over here, and we'll come over here, and right click, okay. And I think that is what we want. Okay, so they decided to shade it, so there we go. And they don't have hidden lines here, so we can take that off. Whoops, we have to do that on the main. Hidden lines removed, okay. Alright, so I think we are pretty close to what we have here. Okay, a couple things we're going to learn about holes. Let's go to the Annotate tab. So for holes, we can use center marks. So we can just put them here, 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 and that allows us to dimension to those holes. And what else do they have? I guess they want us to actually dimension this thing. So let's go ahead and do that. Chain dimension. Okay, let's use the chain tool. So we're going to go from here to here to here to here to here. We don't go all the way because we do want to have the entire dimension. If you'll recall, that one always gets its separate dimension, not part of the chain, so we know how big the whole thing is. So that looks pretty good. Okay, and then we just need to know how deep it is, and that's pretty easy. We can just pull this down to there. And they have 3 and I have 2. Looks like I made it slightly thin. I don't think it's going to matter. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to make a section view of this thing so we can really understand what these things look like. So we're going to go to Place Views, Section, click in the red area, and then we're going to run down here until we see the blue pop. Off to the left, click. Off to the right, click. Right click, continue. Pull it up here. And we got it. Now they're upside down, so I don't know. Kind of makes sense maybe to reverse the direction so they're right side up. Let's do that. And perhaps I can turn off can I toggle off the shading? No. Thought there was a way I could do that. Evidently not. Oh, what did I do? Okay. Huh, the button doesn't change color. Okay, there we go. This is the section view. And let's see what it, create a solid model of the body, then create a fully dimensional view, showing the value in full section view. And there we go. Oh, I know we've forgotten. We've forgotten to do the dimensioning. It's kind of embarrassing. That's what we were just talking about. Let's get this guy way up here. Pull this to the side. Now we want to reap the benefits of making those as holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this guy, pull out, whoops, dimension, click this guy, pull out, and why am I not getting all that information that I wanted? Oh, that's right. My bad. you have to go to holes and thread right here. So if I click there, and then I click here, then I get all these goodies. We want leader lines to be at an angle that's not vertical or horizontal, you know what I mean there. Hole and thread notes, we'll click this guy over there. Since we're running out of real estate here, I'm going to keep going over to the left as long as I can. So I'm going to, maybe I'll go up this way. I don't know. Okay, I'll go up here. And you see all that information that you get for free. Again, on the feature notes, I have to hit hole and thread. I forgot about that. And then, yeah, I was afraid of that. So he doesn't really fit, so I'm going to go like this. Okay, and then I'm going to try to move this dude over here. That's not really working. So this guy is going to have to be something like that. So, there you have it. I think this is right, but if it's not right, what is right is the method that was done to do this. Use this to help you complete that assignment, and use it as a reference for hole notes and how to make holes and things like that. And we'll end it here. Bye-bye.